Hi everybody, welcome to my channel. My name is Sharon and this is a channel that is dedicated to all things related to narcissism. I've been married to a covert narcissist for close to 20 years. I'm separated from him now and I use this channel as a way to get information out there about what narcissism is, what it looks like, what it does to you, what it does to your family. Today's video is going to be a continuation of a video I did last week entitled Crazy Narcissistic Husband Gets Committed to a Mental Hospital. So last summer my husband was committed to a mental hospital, and in this video I'm going to talk about my experience of having my husband in a mental hospital. In a word, it was horrific for me. It was not so bad for him. So my husband got sent to the mental hospital in the middle of the night. I went and visited him at the emergency room. I came home, and in the morning, I needed to talk to my kids. My daughter had been woken up by the police. She was traumatized and very upset. My son had slept through it. So we had to have another conversation about daddy. This is the thing. If your spouse or somebody in your life is a narcissist, their narcissism is a mental illness. It affects every single thing around them. And also, oftentimes, narcissists have other mental illnesses. I spoke with a psychiatrist about my husband. Now, my husband didn't actually talk to the psychiatrist, but I told him a brief summary of what had been going on. And he told me it sounds like he has several conditions. So, mental illness is no joke. So there's been many times I've had to have conversations with my children. All right, this is what daddy's done now. All right, I gotta talk to you about daddy. All right, this is what's happening with daddy. I'm so tired of it. It's unbelievable. So I had to have another daddy conversation with my children. So my kids were rightly horrified. And so my husband calls me from the mental hospital that morning, telling me the mental hospital rules, when I could visit, certain code I needed to get in there, that type of thing. So I go down to see my husband at the mental hospital. And this is what I see. Now, I have come from my home with my children who were traumatized because daddy was carted off to the mental hospital. It's a horrific thing. These are young teenagers. They should be living their life, not having to deal with the trauma of their father. So I go down there and I can see him. He's waiting by the door. And he's standing there holding a soda, just drinking a soda as if he is on vacation. I go in and he's smiling at me sheepishly like this is some cute little thing he's doing, and then he goes and he gets himself a tray of food like he's in elementary school carrying this little tray. It was so unmanly. It was pathetic when I saw this. There is utterly no reality, no care or concern for his kids, for me, for nothing. He doesn't care at all. He's like, oh, hope you don't mind if I eat. It's lunchtime. What? Excuse me, I'm coming to visit you at the mental hospital after you get carted off like a lunatic? I just couldn't believe it. That just hit me so wrong. Then he's talking to me and he's having a great time. He went to group this morning and everyone's so amazed that, he's able to stop drinking because according to him, he's stopped drinking off and on. He's able to do this. And, that's a really rare thing for an alcoholic to do. So, he's special. He's enjoying the treatment. He told work that he couldn't come to work for a few days because he was in a car accident and he was injured, and they're so worried about him. It's all a lie. It doesn't matter that that's a lie. He wasn't in a car accident. He's not, injured in some way against his own, I'm not saying that right. He's acting as though, he's injured. It's no fault of his own. Poor guy, he's at the hospital. No, he got himself so drunk and sat there with a loaded gun and got carted off to a mental hospital. He scares his wife. He scares and traumatizes his children, but he's enjoying the special treatment. That is narcissism. Everything's about them. They love attention. It is the best thing. And it really is like when you hear that no publicity is bad publicity, it doesn't matter to a narcissist. No supply is bad supply. If he was getting great supply there, they were telling him how great he was, that he's able to quit drinking. People, they've never heard of this. It's just amazing. He's just such a wonderful person. Work is all worried about him for a lie. He never asks, are the kids okay? What can we do for the kids? Are you okay? How are you handling everything? Never. Not once. So that's him. He's at the mental hospital. He was enjoying it. It was horrific for me. The only benefit for him being in the mental hospital was that I didn't have to deal with him at all at the house for 5 days. But while he was at the mental hospital, my pastor, who is such an amazing person, I don't have a relationship with my family because I come from a family full of narcissists, full of codependents. My husband's family's like that too. I have zero family support. And I wasn't going to tell my friends one thing about this because it was embarrassing as hell to have my husband so out of control. It is humiliating. So I wasn't going to tell them. I confided in my pastor. And this man, I couldn't say enough good things about him. He was the person that I didn't call him, but I emailed him in the middle of the night right after the trauma of having to go off to not to the mental hospital, to the emergency room at that point. So he met with me the next day. He was a wonderful support for me because I had a concern. The police, the pastor, myself, we were very concerned because my husband was in a car with a loaded gun, but he had 30 bullets with him. He claims he was suicidal, but 30 bullets, I was very concerned. And this is embarrassing for me to say from what I'm going to tell you next, but I was very concerned that he was going to harm us, myself and my children. I still let him come home. This is the thing. This was a year ago. This was right around the time that I discovered narcissism, because he wasn't diagnosed with narcissism at the hospital. It wasn't until later. I knew this. It's like if you have a skin rash, right, you don't need a doctor to tell you it's a rash. It's obvious what the problem is, right? But so a therapist later said that he thinks my husband has narcissistic personality disorder, but this was not diagnosed at the hospital. So I can't remember actually now if I found out about narcissism before or after he was at the hospital, but it was in the same month. It was in last August. So, this was right around the time I was discovering narcissism and codependence. I was still extremely codependent. There was no thought that I should not have this person back at my house. So on one hand, I'm afraid. I was afraid that he might harm my children and I. And it would not have crossed my mind that, I guess it crossed my mind, but it wasn't anything that was ever going to happen where I should not let him back at the house. So my pastor told me, don't let him come back to the house. He convinced me to go to the police with him and discuss what I should do. So, and also we had 3 guns at the house. We have 2 handguns and a shotgun. So I was concerned about the shotgun because I went and bought a new locked case for the handguns because I want to have guns. I like guns. I feel safe having a gun. So I didn't want to give up the guns. I just didn't want my husband to have access to them. But I was concerned about the shotgun because to get that put away, I would have needed to spend a lot of money to get a big cabinet to put a big shotgun in. So my pastor talked me into going to the police station to discuss what I should do from here, being afraid of my husband, what the police recommend. Now, I probably looked, I know I did, like I look like an idiot. It's embarrassing, but that's part of what this channel is. I really want to help people to see things before I did, because I made terrible mistakes because I was codependent. And I probably still am. I'm still dealing with this. I am separated from my husband. I did kick him out of the house, but when he got carted off to a mental hospital and I was afraid that he was going to harm me and my children, I never thought, I can't have this person at the house. He has to leave. I felt stuck. obligated, like it was not a choice. So I'm there, I'm talking to the police, I'm telling them that I'm afraid. My pastor's trying to like talk reason into me, and the police officer was looking at me like I was nuts. He's like, well, I can't do anything if, he's not harming you right now. He's like, certainly call 911, will be there as quick as he can, but ma'am, if you're this afraid of your husband, I advise you not to have him back at your house and to get a restraining order against him. No, I didn't do that. Not in my codependency. I just ignored what he said. The police took the shotgun, and they still have it actually at the police station. They're holding it for me. But, that was it. So my pastor trying to talk to me, you don't have to bring him back to the house. If you're afraid of him, don't let him come back. You shouldn't let him come back. Oh no, I'm a codependent, so I don't think reasonably. I have spent my entire life being abused by everybody, so that's how I reacted. I have now since done work and improved myself, but that was really my mindset. I grew up in a home where my father was a narcissist. I was raised to be codependent. Everybody was more important than me. Everybody. It's different now. I feel different now, but I'm still working on this. But that's the thing. So he's at the mental hospital having a great time. I'm at the police station. I'm afraid. I'm trying to handle every single thing at the house. And he's just la, 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 having a grand old time at the mental hospital. So he spent 5 days at the mental hospital. After 5 days, he was coming home, and I did not want him to come home. I wanted nothing to do with him. Honestly, I wish he had just dropped dead. When you are with a mentally ill person, it is the most traumatic situation. Your life is always full of turmoil. You can never enjoy everyday things. The mentally ill person, your whole life is ruined by their problems. And if you are with somebody, like my husband is severely mentally ill, he is crazy. He's not normal. He doesn't care about his kids. He doesn't care about me. All he cares about is himself. And I really have a hard time with it because I am so dedicated to my children. And ironically, his extreme mental illness has woken me up. I am a much better person now. I have my priorities straight because my kids have always been number one to me. But when I think back to decisions I made that could have put them at risk, I am horrified. So I implore you, if you know you are with a narcissist and you are afraid of the narcissist, take action. Don't care about them. You don't owe anybody anything. Only thing you need to worry about is your children and yourself. It's not narcissistic to put yourself first when you are in a situation where you're afraid. You have to do that. So please, if you're listening to this video and any of this resonates with you, please don't do what I did. Accept reality and do what is best for you. Do what is best for your children. So I will make another video about when he came home from the hospital and what that was like. Because of course, he came home because I didn't have the guts or the wherewithal to do what I should have done. I did do it a few months later, but I am embarrassed that I didn't do it then. So thank you for watching this video. Please subscribe, please like, please comment, and I will see you in the next video. Bye-bye.